It's the kid. It's the kid. It's the kid. Yes, we are still rolling. Yes, this virus thing. I mean, Trump just announced that America are not going to get popping till about July or August, man. But the show must go on. As the saying goes, the show must go on. So we're going to try and find ways of trying to still give you guys good quality content. Nix, are you doing all right there?
Listen, I gotta protect myself from you lot, man. I don't know what you lot get up to. A lot of crap gets spoken in this dugout, so I just need to make sure.
Can I just ask something to the audience and maybe to the live chat as well? Why can't I buy any rice? Why can't I buy tissue paper? Why can't I buy pasta? Why can't I buy this base? Why can't? And also, by the way, sanitizers. I mean, basically, people are going mad. Like, I'm going in. This is like end of days. I'm going into shops and I'm just seeing empty discs. Like, my friend said he had to wait like 3 days to get toilet paper. I'm like, what's happening?
You know what the thing is as well. This is how stupid people are. You go to Sainsbury's, you go to Tesco's. All of these places sell out toilet paper. Go to your corner shop. Better toilet paper. You can get toilet paper.
Devo, I'm saying the same thing.
I literally people are dunce.
Let's not ruin it, because then maybe try to go to our corner shop.
We're gonna be gone.
Yeah, we're gonna be gone.
I went to the Caribbean shop. Obviously, it's the Asian man run it, but the Caribbean shop, nonetheless. And I went. I said, where's all the lemons? Where's all the lemons? Because listen, obviously, people are trying to stock up in it. Man's like, oh, you know what? Let me get some from the back for my loyal customers. Come like some drug deal. Yeah.
My loyal customers.
I'm around the back. Nah, man, it's mad out there.
No, it's. I mean, No, but my whole thing is that. I mean, obviously, before we get into the whole, mainly because look, the virus is basically the main thing. My thing is that if Boris has said that, okay, we're going to allow you all to get sick, nothing's going to stop. Then why are you buying and stocking up on stuff if he's saying that only over 70s will be self-isolating, but all of you guys get ill, get sick, and get immune? So why are you stocking up?
Because some of us are, trying to beat the PM, innit? Beat the PM.
Panic. You know, but Boris is a madman, you know. How could Boris come on TV and he's like, well, boy, you know what? This is a bit of a sticky one still. Certain man might just have to die, you know. What kind of politics is that?
Look, that's wild. Like no other leader has. Look, that's what. Okay, good. Like let's look at what's happening. So basically, we're gonna be looking at the Champions League, and guys, savor this moment because that could be the last piece of action that we see for like 30 or 40 years. So we'll obviously review that, give our thoughts on that. Then the main discussion, of course, is what is going to happen to the football season. That is the question that has been asked right now. What's going to happen to those in relegation, those looking to get promoted, those who are already leading the league as well? What's going to happen to the Euros? What's going to happen to the Champions League? What's going to happen to all these various types of football tournaments and titles? So all of that stuff is all up in the air. And also, if you now go to your boys' Twitter page, Half a Pot, I have put up a poll to give you guys thoughts about what do you think should happen with regards to the end of the football season? If you were in charge, what would you do? What would you choose? It's crazy. It's madness, and it's crazy. Josh, you don't even want to know what Boris said, bro. You don't want to know. The guy's a brick who can't comb his hair. You're a leader, and you can't even comb your hair. How am I supposed to take you seriously if you can't comb your hair? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't listen to what you say if you can't comb your hair because I'm focusing on the fact that your hair isn't combed. So, nah, that's messed up. So let's start off first with this. Look, man, we are reeling, man. Do you know how sick this is? Because just when we saw what happened in the Champions League, specifically with the Atletico Liverpool game, and Neymar doing his thing for PSG, we're like, all right, man, Champions League is ready to pop the hell off, man. Who are going to City and Real Madrid? Because it was such a dramatic game, specifically the Atletico Liverpool game, and to now. Because obviously, by the time people view this on Tuesday, I think they're having a meeting on Tuesday, so we'll know what will happen in the Champions League and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just so crazy because that was such a nice little sweetener to what's going to happen in the second legs and everything. And yes, Igalo has scored goal of the season. We'll definitely get to that afterwards. That is goal of the season. So since you've not been around, Mr. quarterback, the guy who brought these four Avengers together to form one Titanic mass appeal or whatever the hell you call it. what were your thoughts? Let's start off first with let's start first with Atletico Liverpool, since that was the biggest game. So do you you go with the narrative that it's a Simeone masterclass, or do you see that Liverpool failed to capitalize that Liverpool had their chances and they failed? But specifically, the one I actually want to get onto is as a percentage, if you could give a percentage, how much percentage do you blame it on Adrian with the facts of Liverpool going out, so hit it.
Boy, you opened a can of worms there. I already have my views on that whole Atletico Liverpool match. At the end of the day, Liverpool didn't get through. They messed up. They were defensively shocking. And unfortunate for them that Alisson wasn't there. But I'm sorry, that was not a masterclass by Atletico. It's how they always play. They will turn up that way against Derby County, against a League 5 or anyone. This is how they don't play any other way. It was not a defensive masterclass. The goals were from terrible mistakes from Liverpool. They did not play any type of positive football, and I am tired of them getting praised, because other managers will play like that and they will get cursed from high heavens all the way down. Oh, negative football, park the bus. But when Atletico does it, yes, masterclass, brilliant display from them, blah blah. No, stop. They are a big team. They're not underdogs. Stop giving them this.
But they were underdogs in this game. They were underdogs in this game.
No, they're not underdogs in this game. I've said this already. Their team, you can say, I'm not going to say on par with Liverpool's, but they've got a good amount of players in their team that you can say Liverpool's got the same amount of good players. And I'll say that because
name them.
Hold on. I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Okay, let's look at when Chelsea won the Premier League with Conte. Yeah, let's look at those players. Some of them looked absolutely superb on that system. They looked great, fantastic. When a team is playing really well, everyone looks fantastic. Liverpool are playing really well, so some of their players look fantastic. Let's be serious. Their midfield is not the best. I can call out. Let's look at Liverpool's team and let's say who's really good. Salah, Mane, Trent. You can argue, and Van Dijk.
Fabinho.
Does he play?
What do you mean by does he play? Of course he plays.
When he's in the air, when he's there, here or thereabouts,
he's been injured.
He struggled to get into
injured,
the team. But that's what I'm saying. Okay, now let's look at Atletico's team. They're not all crap.
Yeah.
They're not all crap.
But how many world-class players do they have? Morata, Costa,
but you know what?
Saul.
I will say one thing I will say to back up what Javon's saying is people forget the pedigree that Atletico Madrid have in Europe. If you look at Atletico Madrid under Diego Simeone in the last few years, they got more European pedigree than Liverpool. If you take the back a decade, they got more European pedigree than Liverpool do. So I think, myself included, I underestimated Atletico Madrid. I really did. And I should have known the way that the first leg went, the second leg was set up perfectly for Atletico Madrid. Did they ride their luck? Yes. But they have Oblak, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Mm-hmm. And if the tables were turned and Liverpool had that same performance, we wouldn't hear the end of how good Alisson is. So I don't want to hear about it's no good Atletico Madrid didn't come to play football. They got the best goalkeeper in the world for a reason. He did his job. You have to celebrate that. You have to say, you know what? You've done what you needed to do to go through. Congratulations.
Yeah, I understand, but they didn't. They've done what they always do. It doesn't matter if they played Liverpool, if they played
they did their job. They did their job.
I hear what you're saying, and the reason, and I feel like I could, if this,
you're bitter about Jose.
I'm not bitter. I'm just tired of people. I'm just tired of people giving this pass to Atletico. They are good enough to play this type of football that everyone expects, a Bayern or Liverpool to play. They have good players. Those players do not need to sit back. So do not give them a blind.
It
It doesn't,
works.
and they say that's
It's
just my
about
opinion.
winning.
Whether,
It's
look, the
about
thing is,
winning.
I don't
hear
like the
that.
way they play football, but they
that's,
win.
But
that's okay. That's not my problem.
point Javan's making. I think he's saying that people, give Atletico a belie for playing that way because they're the underdog, they're the smaller team, their players aren't as good. Whereas I guess what maybe some of us are saying here, definitely me, is that I don't really care whether you're the better team or the weaker team. Personally, winning is the main thing. However, and obviously the fact that there's managers like Jose, for example, who has been at Real Madrid, Man United, and been criticised for playing negatively, whereas Simeone doesn't get that, and Javan, I guess, feels that they need to balance it out. But as far as I'm concerned, like I've never criticised Jose's style because generally, up until recently, it has always won, and winning is the name of the game. I was more critical of, say, Arsene Wenger, who played beautiful football, quote unquote, but didn't win anything. Because for me, football is about attack and defense. And if you can't defend and you always attack, or you always defend and can't attack, then you ain't going to get the results you need. You have to be able to do both. And what the two legs there, what happened anyway, was that Atletico did what they needed to do. And I'm not saying they would have changed if they played someone else, but as far as those games are concerned, they did what they need to do.
Wait. Okay, let me just take a quick super chat. Here. So, yes, Saeed, thank you for the super chat. So it says, so it's Adrian's fault for Paul scoring 0 away Gs. You see, and I think this is where I want to come to, and I'll probably come to Devil with this. But just to say, it's like Adrian, I think, was at fault for that first goal, 100%. Like he messed up for that first Marcos Llorente goal. Also, side notes, Simeone actually made those two substitutions, both Llorente and Morata as well. So you got to give him that. But yeah, Adrian is to blame for that first goal. But for the second goal, it now goes back, and I think I want David to talk on this, is where Van Dijk has sort of been praised in the fact that he doesn't need to make a tackle. He doesn't need to go out and put himself in the firing line in the same way that Sergio Ramos does. But in that situation, when it was 3-on-3 or 2-on-3, he had to go out and attack. He had to go out and close down Llorente because Llorente had so much space to pick his spot and really try to direct that thing in the bottom corner. Yes, Adrian could have done better, but by not closing him down and making it difficult for Adrian to get a good look, that's made it a lot more easier for Llorente to get that G up. So for Devil, then, like, does Adrian deserve? Also, the answer to this is no, but I just want to know: does Adrian deserve the same amount of abuse that Karius did? Because Karius performed the two worst mistakes in the history of goalkeeping, 1,000%. So don't you think Karius said sentence of your post, Adrian?
It was
You know what? Firstly, I don't think Adrian deserves as much blame as what he's getting. And secondly, I think if your mantra is you never walk alone, you shouldn't blame any player for nothing. You've said it yourself.
Karius.
But
Blame
having said that, I think Adrian obviously was to blame for the first goal. He was shaky all night, but he weren't the only one. I think other players were shaky as well. Van Dijk, that's one of the worst games I've seen him play in the Liverpool shirt, if I'm being honest. I don't hear many people saying that. But him and Gomez were shaky. I think Robertson and Van Dijk especially, you have to look at them for their comments after the first game, because I know what Diego Simeone would be playing in the dressing room. That exact interview over and over again. They have to come back to Anfield and then they'll know. They have to, okay, we'll take that and we'll see what you got. And and then they beat them. So I would look at things like that. And that's where you have to be humble as a sportsman, because you never know when they're going to come back to bite you. But to talk about the game and the scenario they talk about, I think Van Dijk was poor in that scenario. I think he backed off. All he had to do was really hold him up and wait for support by challenging him. Give him something to think about. He backed off, and then we all saw what happened. The first goal, that's 100% Adrian. That's 100% Adrian. As I said, he was shaky all game. There was one or two bits. There's one where he saved the ball and it bounced off and the guy almost got the rebound, and then he feigned like he got kicked in the face. It's unfortunate that Alisson wasn't there, and it's unfortunate that Liverpool fans, not all, some Liverpool fans have been going at Adrian when they forget the amount of times he saved them earlier in the season. When you're a goalkeeper, and this is the first big club he's played for, he's not used to Champions League environment, things like that. These things can happen. It's Alisson's made gaffes this season. It's just it hasn't been, no one's really taken advantage of it. But he's made mistakes. Everyone does, especially as a goalkeeper. So I think they shouldn't really go at him. Is it his fault? Yeah, 100%. Yes, it is. But as a goalkeeper, it's going to happen.
What we do know is that Man United still got the best backup keeper in the world, Sergio Romero.
But yeah, I think, you know.
Dean Henderson.
Huh?
So, and the best third choice in Dean Henderson.
Well, that's true. He's a good goalkeeper.
All right. Okay, so Nick's thoughts on this then? I mean,
Listen, Adrian was at fault for the first goal, innit? But it's a two-legged tie. It's a two-legged tie, and Atletico deserve to go through. And I think that's the like, why they deserve to go through? Well, let's take the first 90 minutes of the tie. Liverpool didn't have a shot on target. Now we can look at this game in isolation, which you shouldn't do because it's a two-legged tie. We can actually say, yeah, Liverpool dominated. You know, they had a, you know, who was it? Michael Owen had they had enough chances to win 7 games or 4 games or get 7 goals. But listen, you also had 90 minutes before that to get just one away goal, and you didn't do it. Atletico got a goal in the 4th minute of the first leg, didn't go behind in the leg until the 93rd minute of the second leg. So that's 180 minutes later. And they said, oh, all right, we're behind. Let's score again. And they went bang, bang, bang. They managed that tie perfectly. If Liverpool had scored or taken the lead in the tie, let's say in the 60th minute, Atletico would have pushed forward in the 60th minute. But they didn't need to. At no point were they in a situation where they had to push for that goal from the 4th minute until the 93rd minute of the second leg. As soon as they did what they needed to do. So, you know, Liverpool missed their chances. That's their pasta. That Simeone can't control that. He can ask players to do their job. Oblak did his job. And Liverpool didn't do what they need to do. So, you know, Adrian, yeah, he's at fault. Van Dijk's at fault. Gomez at fault. Salah's also at fault. Mane's also at fault. Emil's also at fault. Yeah, he scored.
Look on 32 shots. 32 shots.
Is that how many shots they had?
That's the number I saw, man. 32 shots.
So we can pin it down to one goalkeeper. And goalkeepers, obviously, when they make a mistake, it costs the goal. But equally, when Firmino missed gilt-edged chances in earlier before he scored, that also cost the goal at the other end. If you score it, you're in a different situation. So you can put an Adrian, but I think that's really just kind of masking over the faults of the other players.
Yeah.
All right. So another of the big ties was, of course, PSG against Dortmund, and obviously there was a little bit of a subliminal thing, a bit of an undercurrent, which is the whole Erling Haaland versus PSG thing. Now people now say apparently this photo was fake and so forth. But whatever the case, it's fired up the PSG guys and it motivates them even extra in a game played behind closed doors. Yes, Nix, we see you, man. Stop being a monk, man. So my thing here is, from looking at that performance, can we say as long as PSG are full strength with Neymar, they are realistic Champions League challengers? No. Or do you feel that Dortmund were very underwhelming and Dortmund didn't really do themselves any favors by their lack of imagination, courage, or creativity going forward? And can we admit and say that? Again, I didn't say this. This is just what the streets is saying. Erling Haaland is a poor man's Lukaku. Nix.
Listen.
He's been called the white Lukaku, by the way, but that's the streets. That's not me. He's been called the white Lukaku. Don't say I'm anti-white, man. I love white people. My friends is a great show.
Which streets are you talking about?
I have hope.
Twitter.
Listen, shout out to my boy Neymar, man, because his reputation was riding on this game. My reputation was riding on him. Like, it was peak out. I was stressed, man, because especially when I saw the lineup, I was like, no Icardi, no Mbappe. Man drew for Cavani, and Cavani did what Cavani does, misses big one-on-ones in big games at big moments. We guarantee that all the time. It's a good save by the keeper, by the way. But Neymar stepped up, man. Neymar did what he needed to do. And I think what told in the end was the experience of PSG. I think the way that they played in a very controlled manner. I think that it was clear that the game plan that Tuchel wanted them to play in terms of the pressing and the energy from the likes of Cavani and Sabari or whatever his name is. And they were pressing. And, maybe in a way that Icardi wouldn't press. I know Mbappe had his. I don't think he may have been ill or whatever it was. So maybe that's why he didn't start him. But he don't provide the same defensive cover that those two do, and it allowed Neymar and Di Maria to just do their job. And I think maybe the pressure, maybe did it tell for Dortmund? I don't know, because they didn't play anywhere as good as they did in the first leg, for example, when they had their fans behind them. It looked like two completely different teams. I don't think they created a chance or had a shot on goal in the second leg. Which says
I think Sancho had one where he probably should have passed it. He had one shot straight at the keeper. That's the only thing I can remember.
I think experience. PSG has been in this situation time and time again. And yes, at times they've bottled it, but they also got through at certain times to get into positions to then even bottle it. And I think that's what really told in the end.
Dev.
Yeah, I didn't really watch that game, to be honest. I was watching the Liverpool game. I had a lot more riding on that game for obvious reasons. But to be fair, I'm not surprised PSG did go through. I think PSG are the better of the two teams. I think they have got the experience, and I think that counted. And that's a weird situation to find yourself in if you're a young player. There's no atmosphere. You know what I mean? It's just a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? If you're a young player and you're probably thinking, what's going on here? But the older players with a bit more experience, they probably know how to come through it. I think Dortmund they do what Dortmund do. They get into a position and then they overthink it, overdo it, and they end up coming up short. I think that's happened again. In terms of what happened with the Haaland thing, I think, come on, man. He's a 19-year-old kid that was made in a lab 2 years ago. It's like you guys give him a hard time because, like, well,
I don't give him a hard time. I love him.
No,
he looks like a James Bond villain, but I love the dude.
The whole team did his celebration on the pitch, in the dressing room, on the bus, in the streets.
Yeah, man.
He's you know what? They want to hope they gain
welcome to football, man. Okay, if you talk that talk, walk that walk. Walk that walk, man. What the hell?
Hope, you watch Dragon Ball Z, innit?
Yes.
If he is one of them androids, them man are in trouble,
Android 16.
If he is one of them androids, them man are in trouble.
All they need is to go to Ultra Instincts, man. And
Goku ain't real. He will mash them up.
Neymar had pink hair, so I know he can go Ultra Instincts. So.
Yeah, don't mess with him, man.
What, Javen? Is Neymar that dude? Is Haaland a waste of space? Is he trash? Is he crap?
No, he is not trash. Okay, let's not be reactive right now. It's just, the guy has been showing something. The guy is good. He's got time.
How good? Good, amazing. How good?
Right now, I think he's good, and he will most likely get better from what I've seen. Like he's brilliant. I'm not gonna say he's world class. I'm not gonna say he's amazing. He's like the best thing. Like he's got his time. He's 19. Why are we judging him now? Like, chill. Like,
you say what Mbappe did at 19? What about Messi?
Okay, well, not everyone is him. Are they? Like, let's be serious. Like,
if everyone was Mbappe, then Mbappe wouldn't be a phenomenon,
would it? Yeah. Exactly. Come on, let's be serious. He's allowed to have a lot of games. He's 19. Let's not put all this expectation on him. Like, look at Jamie Vardy. When he was 19, where was he playing?
in the park.
In some ditch, man. Like. And
now look who he is. Like I'm not saying he's world class, but he's a decent striker. Yeah, some people just come up at different times. Like, let's not go down this road. I know this is your favorite road, to change from left to right or to go. Let's not do this right now, okay? The guy is not overrated. Just give him time. Judge him when he's 21. Let's see where he's at then.
No, I'm judging him now. He hides, but he's a result of hype. He's got a great PR machine. I'm judging him now. You can wait till he's 21. I'm passing judgment. Basically, I'm like the Bible. I'm passing judgments now. So
you're ridiculous, right. But okay. But Neymar, let's not. I don't know what needs to be said. Neymar is one of the best in the world, and that's that. There's nothing more needs to be said. If anyone says anything,
he has to prove
himself. Anyone says anything,
I need a CL semi. I need a CL semi-CL fan. He needs to prove himself.
Well, he could have been this year, but who knows?
What?
It could have been this year. He could have got to the Champions League semi-final.
Are you really doing this?
Won it, but who knows? We might not get that far.
What has what? You need him to go to where to prove what?
CL semi or CL final.
He's already won.
You read my Twitters. That's the language I speak.
He's won
Can
it.
you do it in a CL semi? As I said,
He scored.
if coronavirus is as good as it claims it is, how many CLs does it have? How many CLs?
Okay, hold on. Wait. Name me your top three.
Top three what?
Name me your top
let's
three.
not go down this road.
No. We quite. Let's not divert. Javen, let's not divert. You're
diverting. You're deflecting now. Who's your top three?
No. We've got loads of time. I want to talk about Kumu.
We got a lot of time with
Yes, let's please.
With this Corona thing, so we can probably come back to this.
Yeah, we can come back to that.
Yeah, trust me.
Let's laugh at Tottenham for a bit.
I think someone in the live chat said that, like, oh, what are you guys going to talk about next week? Guys, there are so many debates I want to have with these guys right now. There's so many things that need to be done about R9 being the best in the world. How good is Cristiano really? Was Pele really that good? Ferguson, 2 CLs in 50 years. Should he really be the GOAT? I don't think so after all of those teams. How good is Fergie really? So all these things will be done over the next, because there's a lot of stuff that...
Why is Hazard the best in the world, according to HH? That's a video we need to go into.
Hold on, guys. Can we just laugh at Tottenham for a bit, please?
Okay, Devil, wait. We can't, but can I just say one thing right now? So, and this is the key thing. Should Mourinho, because we're going to get to Tottenham's decline and everything, which really is Daniel Levy's fault. I will tell you why Daniel Levy is the reason, but let's just say this right now. Second leg, how is that Mourinho's fault? Hugo Lloris made 2 inexplicable mistakes, and this guy's proving to himself why. No, you're a brick. You're a useful brick. You're a useful brick, but basically you are and Giroud are the same. You're both French and you're both useful bricks. Essential bricks, but useful bricks.
Bricks are very useful.
So let me come to you, Devil, with this right now. So this is like a 2-pronged question. So first off is, how do you see this Mourinho thing ending? Do you see him, because it's a crazy slide, and thank God that they've actually been on the break, because these guys would have been taking much more else. So do you see Mourinho getting sacked in the summer, or do you see him being given another year? And second part of the question is, who do you put this blame to of this decline? The players, Mourinho, Pochettino leaving them in a bad space, or from what I feel, Daniel Levy, who has managed this pretty poorly in being too big for your boots and hiring the wrong manager for your club? Devil.
Okay, so the first one, the result is not Mourinho's fault. It's not. Tottenham are just not. They weren't good enough. The injuries have ravaged them. In that particular game, I don't see much more Mourinho could have done. With that said, how do I think it's going to end? They ain't going to sack him. That's for damn sure. You think Levy's going to pay him that much money to sack him? Hell no. He's there for the long run. He ain't going nowhere till he's ready to walk. Levy ain't paying X million to... Nah, until Mourinho says, you know what, I've had enough of this, which he won't do. He's there till his contract's over. That's it. That's it. This is a marriage made in hell. There is no prenup.
Wow.
The second part is Daniel Levy.
Sign a prenup.
It's Daniel Levy's fault. It has been Daniel Levy's fault for a long time. Even when Pochettino was there, Pochettino papered over a lot of cracks at Tottenham. A lot. Levy is the worst owner they've had in their history in terms of trophies and success. He's the worst they've had. They've not won. I think they won one League Cup.
Yeah,
and it's just progressively got worse. Again, the Champions League run made things look like it was good, but if you actually dissect that Champions League run, I think they lost 50% of the games they played in that competition, or close to that mark. So it weren't like they did well. They got lucky when they had to, and they won games that they really shouldn't have, and they got through it. But they're a club, and it's a mess. It is a mess. They've moved into the stadium. There's a lot of money going into that. Levy is not the kind of person that's going to be like, well, I paid for a stadium. Here's 200 million, go buy some players and fix the squad. Never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Unless they sell Harry Kane, which there's been murmurs of him saying that he's ready to move on. Unless they sell him, they're not going to be able to restructure the squad. I can't see them going out. Which players have they got now that they could sell for a big sell-on value to get more players in? Dele Alli, Harry Kane, and Son. That's probably it. I can't see him selling anyone else to get big money in. Those are the three. If they sell those three, do you trust that they're going to be able to get anyone in better than them? They're in problems. They got problems, and I love it.
All right, Javierne, the man with the unique voice.
Do you have to highlight that?
No, bro. It's not me. Someone said that you sounded like a girl. It wasn't me, bro. It was some dude from the live chat. It wasn't me. I was gonna say it wasn't me, but what the heck?
So is that what we're gonna do? Is that what we're gonna do? Whenever I get onto you, you're just gonna throw that back at me. No, it's okay.
Even I said that a man with a unique voice. This street, which are evil,
but you didn't have to bring. You didn't have to bring it into the chat, did you? You're one of them ones there. Like you want to say something, but you just pass it off for someone else. Yeah.
You know what? We need to get you guys in a ring.
Before you answer, guys, come on. I didn't say that. Someone said that. Wait a minute. Do you guys have a girl in the room? That was someone who said it in one of the live chats. I was like, oh wait, who the hell are they talking about? So there was
I've been looking where, in which stream? Because I don't see it in the stream.
No. This was months ago, back at the other.
See, this is what I mean. You're bringing something up.
Juven, answer the damn question, man. Uncle Moo is Uncle Moo.
Don't worry, I'm coming right back at it with you. Don't worry.
So
anyway,
is Uncle Moo to blame?
No, it's not Mourinho's fault. I don't think he's finished just yet.
He's finished.
He might be.
He's finished.
He might be, but I don't think he's finished yet. There's problems in Spurs from beforehand there. That season when they didn't buy anyone and they had to go through all of that and they gave it all to get to that final, I think that done it for a whole load of their players. That was it. Like there's only so much more they could have given, and they gave it all, and that's it. They're finished now. You know, everyone's gone on an age. They're not going to get any better. Toby.
Pessimist.
They're not going to get any better.
I'm only a pessimist. Carry on.
They're not going to get any better. What's it? Vertonghen, let's be serious. Lloris has been gradually getting.
Call him a brick. Call him a brick. Don't use big words. This isn't Shakespeare. Just call him a brick. He's a brick.
He's been gradually getting worse. He needs.
Man, we're not in the whole of like getting worse. Call him a brick. Call him crap. Call him from the road. Call him an orphan man. Easy. Just use simple words, man. Okay, we're simple people here. What the heck? He's gradually getting worse. Of course, he's getting worse. Look at a little bit. Come on. What the heck? Come on. I know you're that dude, man. Stop being fake. Be real. The hell?
This guy's really out to get me today. Okay, all right.
Bro, this lack of football is hurting him, bro.
Okay, all right.
He said that this Corona break seems to be affecting half home.
Yeah.
Guys, you ain't seen nothing yet, guys. Trust me, it's getting worse by the day. I am having withdrawals, and it's getting worse by the day. It's weird. It's weird. But trust me, next week show, I'm going to be wearing like a flipping thing. Juven, answer the damn question, man. You see the goal.
Maybe I would answer the question if you didn't stop me every 2 seconds. Like. But anyway, as I was saying. Tottenham's team is on the decline, and it's just unfortunate that they had all those injuries as well, so it does not help. Kane being out, Son, like literally all their main guys that can make a difference are out. You've just got players in there that are just like bit parts, just to help go in, which brings me back to my point about Liverpool earlier. When you play really well, people look better than they are, and this is happened with Spurs. These players are just being brought in now to fill in parts, and they're just not good enough to fill the best players' positions that they have. So it's really peak. They're in a dire situation. And when we get on to talking about what happens next, they will probably be one of the teams that could most likely, or that probably will benefit from if there is a void season.
That's what I wanted.
That was beautifully said. Before I come to Nick, let me just hit this super chat real quick. So your boy Gatlock, fellow Nigerian, says, "Yo, stink Minas // Niger Cyclops." Wow, that was cruel. Jav, Gatlock, me and Javan are very good friends. All I'm doing is tease Javan. That's why Javan is the guy that brought us all together and everything. He's the guy that brought it. So he's like the main guy. So I just, I'm like basically HH is like the guy that does a little side thing. So I just say a little side thing, man. Javan, come on, you're that dude, man. You're that dude. Okay, we all love you, man, and your voice. Nix.
I don't like that saying it. They deserve to lose. They lost. And I agree with what Javan said and partly with Devo. Yeah, Spurs in a transition, and it's going to take some time. Levy has to spend the money. If you don't spend the money, it ain't going to work. Simple as that.
All right, so guys, we now head to our main discussion. Guys, we are living in. We are in uncharted territory right now. Can't buy tissue paper. I'm seeing. Oh, what's it called? Even in your ends, Dev. I'm seeing in. Well, we don't want to reveal where Dev is, but Dev, in your area, someone sent me a video. My friend sent me a video of there was a massive queue of people with trolleys trying to get into Morrison's or something. It looks like
and the Morrison's violation.
It's madness. So. This beginning, because for me, I said that the last time, correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time that a football season was affected like this, I think was the World War, I believe. Where this is we're in a war. There's this dude called Adolf with a really bad haircuts on his face that wants to rule the whole world. White Aryan race, all that kind of stuff. Hitler Youth. And we're now in this situation right now. Trump just announced that America are not going to get going till June or July. Italy, I think there were new figures just came with I think they've had their highest ever numbers of deaths in the last 24 hours. Spain, those deaths are rising as well. The situation seems to be getting worse, and everyone is saying that Europe are like months behind China and South Korea. Because China and South Korea, the numbers are definitely been going down. Yeah. But these are guys who have been doing crazy, rigorous testing and really being in on it. So the reality is this: people say, move the euros till next year and so forth. The way it's looking, best case scenario is things get back to June. Realistic scenario is we're looking at September. When it's September is when we're now fully in the all time, because this looks like if it's months, because you have to be fully 100% sure that we are fully now in the clear. Whether we do broad testing, self-isolation, and everything. So this is now the question on everyone's lips right now. Is what should happen? Because once this decision is made, there'll be people that love it, there'll be people that hate it. So whatever decision is made, not everybody will be on board. Not everyone will be on board. So let's start first with what everyone is pretty much been talking about now, which is the Liverpool situation, which is a knock-on effect to the relegation situation. So this is where I stand, and then I'll kick it to you guys. If Liverpool were handed the title, nobody should have any qualms. They were going to win it. They're too far ahead, and it is unrealistic to think that they would lose 8 games. So giving them the title, nobody would have any qualms. But my thing is that if I was a Liverpool fan, and this is just me, if I was a Liverpool fan, I would fight hard to say, no, I want to do it. Because if Liverpool are given the title, dudes like the guy in the bottom right hand of my screen will always say, and we know how he thinks, but you didn't really win it, did you? They handed it to you.
Asterisk.
Done
always, so as much as Liverpool says, an assumption is still an assumption. An assumption isn't fact. Is we assume they would win, but they never won, because as long as there's a 0.1, there's 0.001% chance, that's still a chance. So that's, if I was a Liverpool fan, I would not want to have that, because United fans and City fans would be like, no, you didn't really win it. You didn't really win it, which is the crazy thing. The Liverpool fans are, my God, we're this close. We're 2 games away, and a flipping once in every 1,000-year virus screws us in the ass. So let me come first to actually, you know what? I'm going to leave Nick to last because I know Nick is going to be like that. So I want to come first to Giovanni with this, because we have to break this down in so many different categories, because we'll get to the Champions League and the Euros, but let's just deal with the whole Liverpool situation. If you were in charge, what do you do? Do you void the season? Nothing happens. We begin the next season. Do you hand the title over to Liverpool? Or do you do, which is very crazy, because and I think this is the most unrealistic one, is you just wait until we get out of the woods, restart it, which now then has a knock-on effect for next season, which is just mind-blowing. So what do you do in this situation?
Boy, having this conversation before, it's a tough one on what we do. I wouldn't say gift Liverpool the title, because then if you give them the title, there's still games to play for. Yeah, City, they could go and lose 8. You know, for the next 8 games they play, everyone could just play like Atletico and, you know, bumble some goals in. You know, and they might, you know, City might just win it that way, you know. So you never know. So you can't just give it to them. I would say the best case scenario where everyone wins would be to hold everything off until it's time to start again. And maybe you may have to change when football gets the football calendar, or hold it all off and just not have football, like not have competitive football. Sorry, let me change that. Not have competitive football, and maybe just play friendlies until we come back around till the start of the next season, and everything go back. That will probably be the best case for everyone, because then everyone gets. So what I'll say is, everything just goes on as friendlies for now until next year, for example, this time, where they can restart, and then the season will end naturally, and then we go into the next season.
No, but real quick, so okay, that's an interesting idea. It is an interesting idea, but you have to think about BT Sport and Sky. So their contracts are for league games, not really friendlies. So let's say I'm like an Everton fan or something. I pay my crazy amounts for Sky and BT Sport because I want to see Everton play Premier League games. So if it's 6 months, 7 months of nothing, no, I want to take it off. And BT and Sky rely so much, because you have to know balance the whole costs and profit thing. They rely so much every single season while getting that income every single month from guys. So if you're saying that for the 7 months, everyone like, no way, no, freeze my account. No, we want to, and that's going to be a 7-month massive hit for Sky and BT, who are already taking a crazy hits right now. So
I hear what you're saying, but that is probably the best way where football in general, clubs, players, and, you know, leagues get to go on. That's probably the fairest, because all the others are not fair in any way, shape, or form to anybody. No, like, this was not fair on the broadcasters. Boo-hoo. They got money. They're going to come back from this. They're not going to go down under. If you void the season, you're going to have teams like Leeds that have done so hard. You're going to have teams like, you don't even know when Leicester's going to be. Is Sheffield going to be in this position next season? I feel like that is more hard done on them, and they're the ones playing the football. Forget BT and Sky for a minute. They have money. They will come back from this. They can stream the friendlies. Like, let's be serious. Like, they're not gonna collapse into oblivion. No one wants that, but it's what we it's a way to make it fair. So when it comes back to this time next year, they will then go back into the competitive, finish the season, and therefore everything goes back in. Everything stays on flow by just having this moment of friendlies, just so everything comes back. Because if you null and void the season, we don't even know if they're going to be well enough to start again in September. Sorry, in June, July. So where do we go from there? Like, we just don't know.
Thing.
Sorry, Devin, and let me just hit this quick super chat. Super chat here from Border Subs. Thank you for the super chat, dear sire. Says Jordan Henderson deserves Player of the Year. Sue me, Arsenal fan, Africa.
All right, I will.
no. But he's
sue you.
in the argument, but I still say no. To be honest, guys, maybe that's a separate thing. I don't know who should even get Player of the Year because nobody has been outstanding.
De Bruyne. It's De Bruyne. It's De Bruyne.
COVID.
And then he got comments here saying top 4 stays as it is. How could top 4 stays as it is? Man United is on the surge. They could have been well and really break into that. Like,
there's so many different.
Let me bring Devo into this now. Devo.
Yeah, there's so many different aspects to this. You think of the league, the broadcasters, the fans, the clubs. There's so many different things to think about. Because if you cancel the league now, what happens to people with season tickets? Do they get refund? Do they get money back? What happens to clubs like Rochdale, who I saw on Sky Sports today? They were supposed to have 3 home games in this period since the league's been cancelled. What happens to their revenue? They rely on match day revenue. So if we just cancel football, clubs, there's a good chance some clubs will go out of existence unless the governing bodies bail them out. But will the governing bodies be wanting to do that? I doubt it. So there's a lot to this. Personally, I think with the Premier League, because you know all these guys have got money. If in an ideal world where finances weren't involved, I would say give Liverpool the title. They've earned it. They have earned it. But then what happens is you open up a can of worms, because if you give Liverpool the title because they're top, do you relegate the bottom 3 teams?
No.
I don't think that's fair.
That's where I was going to go to, but just focus on Liverpool because I want to talk about the relegation thing as a separate thing. But yeah, go carry on.
But I do think I think Liverpool have earned the title. I don't think you can have that much of it. I know there's a chance that the teams around them could have caught them. I don't think it's going to happen. I think realistically they should be given it. But I do believe in 1939 when the league was last cancelled, Blackpool were top and they didn't get nothing. They weren't given nothing. So if that happened back then, why should it be different now? That's one point. But me personally, I do think Liverpool should get it. But I'm in the same school of thinking as Neeks. If they are given the title, don't come to me with no title win, because you will always be Liverpool FC asterisk.
Yeah. Right. So before I come to Neeks, let me just get the super chat. So yes, it's like thank you for the super chat, bro. It says, see what this you guys fail to understand is what are they going to do if they start the season again and players still get infected with the virus? Like, basically, that's I told you. Yeah, I have to keep repeating this. We are in uncharted territory because we're dealing with a virus that we just don't. Flipping, which I just heard that Idris Elba tested positive for the virus and he showed no symptoms. He has no symptoms. So when do we know when we're out of the woods? How do you know that we're all clear? China and South Korea, they don't even know whether they're in the all clear. So they must announce that, okay, we're now fully epidemic free. So the economic impact that this is going to have is I don't think people realize just how unprecedented this is and how this is affecting everything in the world, anything you can think of, movies, films, school, daily life, daily work, everything has been affected by this, and we don't even know when it's going to be relieved. So, Nix, what do you do specifically, Liverpool specifically, before you go to the relegation guys?
Whilst I go through it, can you just let us know what the poll result is? I'm saying. So, for me, the most important thing, obviously, you brought up, broadcasting, money, etc., etc. Of course, the point Devon makes in terms of clubs' actual sustainability, their actual need to survive is very important. For me, the only thing that should be on the table in terms of deciding what to do is the integrity of the game. What is best for the game of football? Not what's best for BT's pockets, for Sky's pockets. The fans and the players are what make football. What is best for the fans, what is best for the players. And that's it. I don't care what Karen Brady or Daniel Levy or Piers Morgan. I know he's a fan, but he's got his own interest in all this, being a journalist, etc., etc. I'm a tabloid newspaper, by the way. It's about the real fans and the players. What is best for them? And I think that's the only thing that should decide where we go from here. Now, the issue with voiding a season is that let's say that tomorrow UEFA meet all the clubs and say, all right, we're going to void the season and we're going to start again in I don't know, next season. When is next season? We don't know when next season starts. We could be here, sitting here this time next year, waiting for the new season to start. So if we don't know how far it's going to go, why should we make such a snap decision, whether it's to void the season or to report on champions and relegation?
We have to wait. We have to wait.
So for me, the only solution, and we'll get onto the reasons why voiding might be worse in terms of the other sides of the table or handing out prizes. But for me, the only solution is to wait. Now, if you want to wait, and then we say we're in the all clear, but we're in October now, we need to void last season and start ASAP. Fair beat, so be it. Or we have to say, all right, we award out the prizes because we are where we are and we need to start the new season ASAP. Then that's another discussion. But for me, because we don't know what we're dealing with, the only solution is to wait. And for me, the best outcome after the wait would be, and I'm saying for me, either it's a short wait, so a couple months, and we start back in June, but we don't know. Or it's a long wait, and we resume the last 9 games or 10 games, whatever it may be, last couple months of the season, sometime in 2021. Which means that you can play those games, then you have your break and you start and recycle the calendar normally. The worst thing that can happen, and of course we want this virus to be gone as soon as possible, but the worst thing in terms of the football fixture and calendar and cycle to happen is if we restart football around September, October, or October, shall I say, because it messes up everything. Do we start again? Do we continue? Where do we start from? Do we have to change the whole footballing calendar from a January to December to accommodate, the World Cup in 2022, which is going to be December? There's so much thing. But I think at this stage, we just have to wait and see. There's no point making a snap decision because the virus could be gone tomorrow. We know it's not, but it could be gone tomorrow. And we're like, damn, we just voided the whole season.
Yeah.
Have to wait.
No, I think that is smart. That's smart. So before I get over to relegation and promotion, so this is the results of the poll. So again, how was it? So what should happen in the football season? So 11.1% said other. Thanks. 18% said current positions final. 30% of you, who are you? Resume ASAP. Basically, I wish there were like names and I say, who are you? But 40.3% said make it null and void. So I mean, how do you respond to that? Are you surprised by those results?
Not really.
The winning result, I understand it because it's Twitter and people want Liverpool to not.
Yeah.
I don't want Liverpool to win the title, but I accepted it from October. So I've already internalized Liverpool title. For me, just as a Man United fan, in this the world where I'm just focusing on what's good for Man United, voiding the season is not good for us because that means we're back in the Europa League next year. Our transfer market activity is going to struggle because we're not playing Champions League football, and you've got people like Chelsea who's no longer on a ban, etc. And we are as Javon said, we're on a resurgence. And I think that I was saying if we had got out of the Spurs game still within 3 points of Chelsea, for me, top 4 was ours to go for. We possibly got a Wembley date with Norwich in the next round, and we're going further in the Europa League. So as a Man United fan, I said, I've accepted Liverpool to win it. As a Man United fan, voiding it will be terrible. But I just think the 18% that said hand it out as it is, it doesn't even make sense. Football are based on, or a league is based on 38 games. You plan for 38 games. You plan to play every team twice. Now, some teams have got, Man City, Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool in the next 4 games. And these are, say, and other teams have got, Norwich, Aston Villa, West Ham, Burnley. But we're going to just accept that because you didn't play them soon enough. Bearing in mind that the Premier League clubs don't determine the fixture list. Because you didn't play them soon enough, then we're going to punish you because you're behind them. You didn't reach a certain point tally or a certain position in the table soon enough. Well, that's because I was planning for 38 games, not 29. So I think handing out prizes now, I think that's the worst thing you can do. I think that for me, that is the absolute last resort because you can't base football on if, buts, and maybe. It's on option.
All right, so let's look at another angle of this, which is an important angle: relegation and promotion right now. And again, because you brought up Karen Brady, how apt? So you want to make it null and void? Where if you make it null and void, West Ham are all cool. But West Ham still have the same amount of points as I think it's bonus. Basically, they're on 27 points, and same as the team who are in 18th, which I think
it's Bournemouth.
So they are fully in the relegation dogfight. So if I'm Bournemouth, say, whoa, wait a minute. We still have a lot of games for us to dig it out and still to survive. So make it null and void. And we got relegated without playing the 38 games, which is the mandate, which I think is fully unfair. So, and for the guys who are now going for promotion as well, this seems to say that, my gosh, we've worked so hard, and being promoted is such a huge financial boost, such a massive thing that if you make it null and void, so all that work that we did all for nothing. So let me come to Devil with this right now. So how would you handle the relegation promotion angle then?
See, but what we have to think of is not just relegation and promotion from the Premier League. It's every league. Every league, they're going to have to come up with something, or the teams that are in relegation, whatever league it is, and promotion in the league below that. So whatever they think of for the Premier League can't just be for the Premier League. It has to go throughout English football. Do you know what I mean? So it's a lot bigger than what a lot of people are just thinking Premier League. It's massive. But since, we are here to talk about the Premier League, I think they can't hand, as I said before, you can't hand Liverpool the title and then that's just it. Because that means you're giving a prize to Liverpool for being in first, which means the exact same thing should happen in reverse for those teams who are in the positions they're in. But that's not fair. So the only thing I could think of is that they could do is that if they say there is no relegation this year, Liverpool get the title, everyone stays up, and you bring up the two teams from the Championship that were in first and second. But then, on the flip side, the team in third in the Championship will say, well, hold on a minute, we're only a few points behind.
Exactly.
So I think, it's such a difficult decision. No matter what decision is made, it's going to be wrong for someone. It's going to be wrong for someone. But I really, honestly, I don't know what they should do in terms of the relegation, because it's such a big thing to be relegated from the Premier League or relegated from any league.
So just real quick there, just on what you said. So, I mean, so in the Championship, so Leeds are first with 71 points. West Brom have 70 points. Fulham have 64 points. So Fulham are only 6 points behind the West Brom. Am I right? Or am I going?
Yeah.
6 points. And they played 37 games. So that's 38, 39, 40. So is that 5 games left? Is it 42 they play?
44 they play. 44 games.
So those are enough games to make that up. So if you're Fulham, you're like, bro. So, that's what. Okay, let me just kick it the super chat real quick. So, Yes Side again saying that avoiding the season might be the only solution. Yes Side, unless you want Liverpool fans to stage a civil war, I think that may be quite dangerous. Again, as I said, another super chat says, "See what." Oh no! I think
you got that one already.
Yeah. I read the one. I think there's.
Before we come to the burn, I just want to put something else out there, because obviously I said UEFA are meeting tomorrow.
Yeah,
and it's not just about the Premier League; it's about everything, different cups, etc. If you give Liverpool the title because they're in first when their league suspended, remember everyone didn't suspend at the same time. You have to therefore give Juventus, who are only 1 point ahead of Lazio. You have to give Barcelona, who only just went back ahead of Real Madrid. So if you suspended the league, as Kyle said on our podcast yesterday, if you suspended the league a week before when Real Madrid beat them in the El Clasico, you would have given it to Real Madrid. You can't decide.
You can't do it.
On a thing that's going like this.
You know what? That is the killer point, because I didn't realize that point, because for me. You can't, because people will say, "Well, Liverpool are so far ahead that let's just assume." No. That's not how it works. If you give it to Liverpool, you've got to do the same for everyone else. You can't be like, "Well, because they are this amount of points ahead, we should give it to them." But because they're only 1 point ahead, no, that's stupid. So, and you know what, Liverpool fans, man, I'm sorry, man, because again, I don't know how Real Madrid can accept that. Wait a minute, we're only 1 point behind these. Lazio, Yeah, I know they wanted 8 in a row. Only 1 point behind these flipping dudes.
This will be the first time. We talk about Liverpool and 30 years. Lazio ain't won it since Sven Goran Eriksson was there. That's a long time, 20 years. So everyone's fighting. Everyone's fighting. If you I don't. Sheffield.
Wait. Let me just hit the super chat real quick. Let me hit the super chat. Just a side thing. Super chat says, award Liverpool for almost winning the league. BS. That's the thing. Yes,
I'd be quite happy for them to win it.
You didn't mathematically win it. It is an assumption.
I'd be quite happy.
You didn't mathematically win it. And Liverpool fans, I'm sorry, if you get given this, everyone will say it's an asterisk.
If the Premier League was the only league in the world and there was no relegation, it was just 20 teams, I'm cool. Give Liverpool the league.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When you do that, you have to that is wrong, even if that is right. So all those wrongs don't allow for me this one right, because it's too much. If everyone 25 points, fair enough.
No. But basically, I think what Nick said, I just think is the right thing to do, because this is even what I said even yesterday in the Hangout. Let's wait. Yeah. Why are you making the decision now? Because we're dealing with a virus that we don't know how long this will take. So the key thing to happen is, because remember, just leave football thing for one right now. I know people are hot, but let's see how this all plays out. Then whenever it's finished, let's see where we are right now. Because this may go right into September. And if it does, then we can't even begin next season. So, and remember, so let's say this goes into September right now. So you begin the season without a preseason, without preseason friendlies, which are crucial in preparing for the new season. So it's like
transfer window. When does contracts are certain season or a certain date, but it's at the end of the season. When do you?
So players will be just leaving clubs at the end of their contract. And we've only played 17 games.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Just box off. All right, bye.
Okay. So let's bring in the European aspects, which is the Champions League and the Euros. So here's where I stand on these two things, and I'll kick it to you guys. Now, this is best case scenario, which I don't think will happen, but just for arguments in best case scenario, best case scenario. Let's say we get out of the woods in June. Very unlikely, but let's just say we get out of the woods in June. The Euros has to be cancelled. The Euros has to be moved to next summer, and in June and July, you have the Champions League, and you finish off the league games. I think that is the most sensible thing to happen. And I do believe that, yes, there could be a lot of games being played and so forth, but I still feel you can somehow fit in the fixtures of the Champions League with the league happening in June and July, and may have a lesser of a preseason situation. But guys, remember, this is best case scenario. Best case scenario. So, Javen, with regards to the Champions League and Euros, how do you think that's going to sort of fall out? How do you think they're going to sort that out?
Like I said, the best situation would be to just wait, and then just push everything and let the season continue. Because, for example, let's just say we get out of the woods of this in, like, I don't know, September or something. We now have to wait till the next season to start back football. So in that time, you just play the remaining games. You can have your Champions League and Europa League as normal. So then everyone gets to continue and then hopefully finish the season how they would have done it. It obviously is going to be different, but it's the most fair, in my opinion. So just wait. If you null and void it, it's going to cause way too much issues. You can't null and void the Champions League and Europa League. Where do you go from there? Who now qualifies to play it? Who goes where? How does that work? It's just a complete headache. Luckily, there's not a lot of games left for that, so that can be easily done by if you just
because we're in the quarters now, pretty much.
So what you can easily do is just literally, like I suggested, just have a football season where it's just friendlies, teams playing here and there, maybe clubs going abroad to play in other places.
Tournaments.
Yes,
like tournaments and everything.
Something like that as like a breathing period, and then in that time you can finish off your Champions Leagues, you can finish off your Europa Leagues, and you can finish off the rest of the season, which will then give everyone time to then come back, breathe, do your pre-season, make sure everything is actually in the woods with this coronavirus, if there's vaccines or whatever, and then you start again come June or whenever it is. And I think that's probably the best case scenario. The only people, like everyone said earlier, that will lose out would be the broadcasters, but they are not going to run out of money. People are watching Sky TV. Why? I don't know. People got BT. Why? I don't know. When you can stream everything on, I don't know why people still watch linear TV. I don't know. So they still got money from that. They're not losing out if people cancel Sky Sports. They're just losing out a bit. They've lost
a bulk of the money.
I hear that. Okay, but let me put it like this. Let's say they make 70 million a year. They've lost 10 million in profit. They're still making 60 million. Okay, they've lost 10 million, but they're still making money, so they're not going to go down under.
Yeah, but you're not thinking of it right. Gary Lineker's sitting at home right now. He's not getting paid. Gary Lineker might lose his job.
He's got to take up with his employers because he's got to take up with them because they've got enough money. They've got enough money to pay for these people.
But you know what they should do?
They're not going to go down under.
You know what they should do?
Have you seen their finances? Are you the accountant?
I haven't. No, I haven't. But they're charging I'm not going to swear, a whole load of money. They're charging a whole load of money for this football. You're telling me they don't have no money? How are they bidding 300 million? Where they get that money from? Where they get 300 million from? They clearly have money. They clearly have money. Listen, I'm giving my opinion. If you don't like it,
they clearly have money. Unless you're the
accountant, you for my opinion.
Of their
I'm sorry, you asked me for my opinion. Okay, if you don't like it, just zip it and then say your own opinion. I don't understand why you're getting on to me. You're not getting on to Devo. You're not getting on to Neeks.
Right.
That's it. You're a flat track bully, bro.
Listen, you can't bully me, okay? I'm not even phased. But I'm just letting you know. Chill.
But you know what? For real, you know what they should do? They should just get each manager of each football club to just play the fixtures on FIFA. And whoever wins, that's how you done the season. Isn't it? That's how you done the season, fair and square.
Havo, before I come in, you got 2 super chats.
No, I'm gonna hit them.
Okay.
So Yasser Said, who I'm sure is a United fan, well, he's a United fan, says United would have finished 3rd. Screw Europa. You see, look, let me be real with you. That 4th thing was a real dogfight. And Chelsea were very inconsistent, and United were just getting really into form. And I think, as Nick pointed out, Champions League is there are 2 aspects here. First of all, United would have believed that we can really make top 4 as well. The second aspect is we feel like we could probably win Europa as well. So if you now cancel Europa, void the season, that's really screws over United, and they'll feel hard done by. Let me hit this other super chat.
Yeah, not just United though, because we were on a surge as well. We were getting top 4 as well. Just want to throw that in there.
Serge Aurier at best, maybe.
Yeah, we don't want Serge Aurier.
That's just like again. It says that if it was the World Cup instead, will you still move it? Hell no.
Yes.
Yes.
No! Of course.
Yes.
Of course. People are dying, bruv.
Wear a mask, man. Wear a mask.
How Corona would do in the semi-finals of the World Cup. Can you board like heads How many knockouts has Corona got? That is the question that we need to know. That's
it. Got bare knockout goals.
Another one from
You want to get on to me about finances, and you're out here saying that we shouldn't move the World Cup. We should let people die. Sort yourself out, bro. Sort yourself out.
Joven, why are you calling at me?
All because you're coming at me. So I'm coming right back at you. Okay. Now read your super chat, please.
Do you know how many women love guys with
Rodney has said if 14 teams vote for it,
man.
I don't even know what's going on there.
Joven, can I please read the super chats?
I just read it for you.
Now, from Rodney Slango, if 14 teams votes for it, a void can happen. But the thing is that will 14 teams vote for it, though? That's the thing.
Yeah,
wait. So, is that how it works? Is that actually going to be a vote?
Yeah.
In the Premier League. No, for the Premier League. 14 teams have to vote for any moment to pass. Obviously, that doesn't.
Yeah. Because the Premier League is its own body, and then you have the English Football League, who is a different body. So if the Premier League is made up of 20 representatives. If 14 of them vote in unison for a certain thing, then it gets passed.
Yeah. So they might just say, you know what, screw you, Leeds and West Brom, and it's peak.
Yeah.
That's it, the integrity of football. But can I just say, sorry, I was following what Deverne was saying actually earlier. That yeah, for me, as I said before, you have to delay and you play. I think you resume when you can. Now, when it comes to the Euros, obviously we're saying move the Euros till next summer, but there may be a case to just say, and it may be like it's a add or if. So the Euros is moved to next summer, or after this 2019-20 season finishes, whichever one comes first. So in the sense that if say the football resumes in November, so they play 3 months worth of football, November, December, January, the Euros then starts in March or February, a month for your internationals, and the Euro starts in March. And then you resume the football calendar as normal back in August or whatever it may be. I think, because if we get to next summer and the season hasn't actually completed, I think that's at the point where you say void it. If we get to this stage next year and we haven't finished this season, we just say, you know what, it's done, it's finished, void it, and we go again. But I think the Euros should just happen soon as the Premier League or the domestic season is finished, whatever that may be.
All right, so to round this off, in your gut feeling, honestly, remember, guys, send in your questions now. We will take questions for the last 10, 15 minutes or so. We'll take in some questions. So send those questions in now. Send those questions in now.
And suggestions about what you want us to talk about during this football.
Yes. Suggestions. So send questions and send suggestions for the topics you want us to cover. We will definitely be taking user-inspired topics for us to discuss about in the next few shows. So as you send in those questions and those suggestions, in your gut feeling, what do you think happens? So we've given like ideas and everything, but if you're just to say, looking at things right now, I know it's a hard question to answer because we're dealing with something we've never really dealt with before like this, that is so mysterious. But in your gut feeling, what do you actually think?
I've just had a thought. In my gut, I think they're going to hand it to Liverpool, and I think they're going to devise some sort of playoff system around who gets into Europe, and possibly even a playoff system for the relegations, because in places like Holland and I believe in Scotland as well, I think they do one in Germany where the team who finishes 16th plays the team who finished third from the division below. I think they could possibly do a playoff situation where let's say the bottom 4 sides in the Premier League take on the top 4 sides in the Championship, and it's like a playoff system. Whoever comes top of that playoff system will stay in the Premier League or be promoted, and vice versa. That's one solution in regards to the relegation issue. But in my gut, I think they are going to hand the league to Liverpool and then just call it quits and say no one gets relegated. Leeds and West Brom, up you come. We have a 22-team season for the next year with 5 teams being relegated, so it goes back to normal. I think there's a lot of noise around that system, which makes me think that that's what's going to happen. But again, I'd feel bad for Fulham if that happened. Do you know what I mean?
Very bad. That's just unfair.
And for us, because we were undefeated in the league.
6 points is nothing. 6 points is nothing.
We're undefeated in 2020. So if there's no more football this year, we went a whole calendar year without losing a game in the league.
Don't do it. Never do it. Don't do that.
I think what we're going to hear on Tuesday, I think it's going to be another weight in the sense that all the European leagues are going to say we will give it till this date, whatever that date may be. I think it's going to be unison in that regard. I think that's what we're going to hear on Tuesday. The next protocol after that date, because it may be a case of if we don't resume the season by the 1st of June, this happens. And what is this? It's so hard to say. Like, I'm looking at it logically, and I can't.
Yeah, but you can't look at it logically. What's your gut tell you?
UEFA may make their own. Because what UEFA will say, this is how we're going to do the Champions League. The Champions League will be decided by the teams who are currently occupying, the top 4 or top 3 position, depending on what league you're in, as the league was ended, and that's who qualifies for next season's Champions Leagues. But then how each league does it, that's up to them. Serie A will say one thing, all right, playoff game between Juve and Lazio. Remember, Barca playoff game, and the Premier League may say, all right, give Liverpool the title, because they have their own jurisdiction. But it's just a relegation. I just don't understand how you can award a title, and so you confirm first, but you don't confirm 20th. How can you do that?
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know, but I think as of Tuesday, I think they will make a uniform decision as to what date is the kind of the cutoff or the next point of talks to say we're not going to resume the season before XYZ. That's all I can really say.
Javan?
I have a feeling they're just going to null and void everything. That's what I feel that's going to happen. Be a shame if they do that, because it just creates a whole lot of issues for everyone and all the teams, football fans alike. But that's I feel like that's what's going to happen. But I do agree with Neeks. I think they'll wait at first and see, and I think they'll try to see when the earliest they can resume. They'll say, let's wait and see. And then if it continues to get worse with no signs of slowing up, then they would then void everything. But that's what I feel is going to happen.
All right, let me just hit the super chat, then we'll look at some of the suggestions, the questions. So Yassi Said again, thank you for the super chat, Isaiah. So what you're saying is wait till March of 2021 to avoid the 1920 season. What's going to happen to the 2021 season? You see, that's what it's like. It's this knock-on effect.
If we reach March 2021, the 2020-21 season's done anyway. So it doesn't.
You just go straight into 21-22.
Yeah, you just go straight into it, which is going to be cut short. Not cut short, but with a break and play with the
World Cup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what does TP mean?
Toilet paper.
So, given the toilet paper shortage, do you expect a reduction in the number of?
You think them? But wait, you think them man ain't got toilet paper? You think Messi and Ronaldo run out of toilet paper?
No, you think number Messi and Ronaldo asking.
Yeah, but they gotta be kissing Ronaldo and Messi ass, and if they ain't wiping their ass, ain't no one kissing that.
Actually, but that's an interesting thing, man. Is what do you think people will now? How do you think Twitter will now start operating? Specifically, football Twitter right now with no football. Our guy
we've seen how you are. You're talking the most trash.
And he was doing that before.
Even more so. I'm worried for you, bro. I'm gonna check in on you every day.
No, guys.
Sure okay.
Let me ask this. We've already had some suggestions there, which we'll look at in the comments. Let me ask this. What are your guys' plans? I mean, let's get free here.
Well,
what are your plans? Of course, because I know that I'm sure that because again, we just got like an email, a WhatsApp group of guys saying that what are we going to do that? Because we may have to work remotely from our workplace. But our boss is like, you know what, screw that. Get your asses to the office right now. So we're not trying to like sort of to discuss what's going to happen in my workplace. But what are you guys going to do then? Like, I mean, how are you guys going to operate for these 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months?
Well, I think first of all, at the moment, listen, I put a tweet out just before we came. Actually, I said we're actually we are at the beck and call. We are at the whim of the government and our employers. If employers say we're going to come in or we're not getting paid, we got to come in because Boris ain't cancelling my bills.
Exactly.
My electricity will get cut off if I don't work and pay. So I just got to do what I got to do in it. So as it is, I'm working. I'm going into the office. But obviously with Boris's announcement today, they're kind of saying work from home when you can. My job allows me to do that. So I feel that by the end of the week, a lot of the office staff will be working from home, which includes myself.
See, I can't work from home. You know what I mean? You know, I might have to go out on the street, start coughing on people to rub them. Do you know what I mean? I got, you know what I mean? I got bills to pay as well. I might have to, you know what I mean?
Or what?
To just bally up.
I think we're gonna have to start doing some shopping, man, because I didn't want to get into the whole panic. No, I didn't really want to do it because it was ridiculous, especially some of the things that were being bought. But if there's gonna be nothing on the shelf, I need to eat. So
we already gave you
the advice, Neeks.
We already gave you the secret. Boss man's got everything.
No, but this is what's making me so weird is like, I just want to just buy some fish. I'm walking into Sainsbury's. I'm like, oh wow, so is this what the shelves look like? Oh wow, so clean and everything. There's no fish. I just want to buy my salmon fillets and have some salmon and pasta. I can't. What the heck? I can't buy fish.
Go to your local fish market, bro. I'm sure they got plenty of fish.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to go down.
There's a tweet. There's a tweet that came out and said that all the pasta and things gone, but all the seasoning is still there on the shelves. People just eating dry pasta, bro.
That makes no sense, man.
No. I mean, but what are you guys gonna sort of do? Because remember, like, cinemas probably gonna be closed down. No football. Like, how
Netflix,
reading books, meditation, yoga,
Netflix and chill, bro. Netflix and chill and reruns. Friends on loop.
Streaming is gonna be
The internet's gonna break with everyone working from home.
Oh, by the way, as well, in Italy, for those who want to know, in Italy, they've given everyone a free premium Pornhub until April 3rd.
Oh, that's why everyone's buying the toilet paper.
That's why everyone's buying the toilet paper.
Listen, Football Manager, I might have to pull up a file. Listen, I ain't played Football Manager in a couple of years. I just don't have the time with all the YouTube and work and all them, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But listen, pull up that Football Manager file, man.
Red Dead Redemption 2, Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
Oh man. Jeez.
Anyway, I gotta go, man. I gotta go. We've run over the time. I need to go to toilet.
All right, okay, guys. Look, man, that is it from us here and there. So, look, man, we're gonna definitely try and get you more content and stuff and everything. And like again, this show. Well, the beauty of the internet is that look, we can do this stuff remotely without having to touch each other, breathe on each other, and basically lick each other's faces. So we will definitely be doing more football topics, and it's definitely going to be far more interactive with regards to you guys say whatever you want and getting you guys much more involved in everything. So
I ask that everyone, once this stream kind of republishes on YouTube, if you can go into the comments, the ones that actually stay there, and put your suggestions in there, so we can just kind of get a log of everything that you don't want to see for the next, as a few weeks, months, who knows, and we can take it from there.
Few weeks.
We don't listen.
You never know. You never know.
No, bro. It's at least months. Like
that's what
just remember, it's at least months.
Couple months.
Because we have to look at what China and South Korea have gone through. Bro, it's going to be months. Let's just accept that.
Yeah, whatever. Right. Put in the proper comments so we can log it there.
Guys, it's all good. It's been swell. We'll see you guys next Monday. Peace.
See y'all.